What's going on, YouTube? Thanks for tuning in. This is your boy Alex, and today I'm going to share with you guys my recap of the trades that I did this week. And before we get into it, I just want to say, if you guys can, please hit that like button. It does help me out a lot, and I really do appreciate it. Welcome back to another episode, and I got some cool things for you guys this week. The market this week continues to be a hot market for traders, not investors, unfortunately. The overall market has been bouncing this week. It's pretty high up from its lows that it has reached a couple weeks ago, but still, this is a trader's market, and that means that there are so many opportunities for traders. If you're an investor, I would still sit on your hands right now, as it's probably not the best time because things could still get uglier. We just don't know. But as a trader, we're still seeing things go up 100, 200, 300, 400 or more percent every single day. And we just got so many opportunities. And the only thing that I'm bummed about this market is that I'm still under the PDT, so that means I only got 3-day trades a week. So I'm not able to capitalize on every single opportunity that does kind of show up in the market. So unfortunately, I still have to take my time and work my way up there, but this is a great time to do that. So I'm still not concerned, and I'm very excited to keep moving forward. Now, on that note, it has been a slower week for me because my first day trade I had available was on Wednesday, and my second one was on Thursday, and so my third one was going to be on Friday. But since Friday is closed because of Good Friday, I was only able to take 2-day trades this week and come out with close to $500. Still not bad, still made money, but honestly, I wish I had my third trade this week. But on the other hand, I did avoid the risk of having a losing trade on Friday, so in all things, maybe this was for the best. And without wasting time, let's jump right into the recaps. All right, now let's look into how I did this week. So here's the stats. On Monday and Tuesday, I didn't have any day trades, and I didn't use my F1 trade. I stuck to my plan of not using that account for now and just focusing on the stuff that I do know how to trade. And so my first trade was on Wednesday for a $728 loss, and I'll explain why this wasn't such a bad loss. And then on Thursday, I had an $1,168 win, which made up for the loss on Wednesday and then some. So let's see, on the week I came out to $440, which isn't that great, which isn't a whole lot of money, but $400 a week is $1,600 a month, which is enough to pay the bills. On the month, I'm sitting now at $2,447, and here's some of the personal stats that I'm gonna show you guys. So as of right now, I've taken a total of 5 trades, and my win rate's at 80%. My average winner is $889. My average loser is $648. And I've taken 2 trades on first red days, with both being winners, and I made a total of $1,685 on them. I took 1 bounce short, which I made money on as well, and then 2 trades on overextended gap downs, which were I lost 1, and then I went on the other one, so 50% win rate on that one so far. Again, that adds up to a total of 5 trades. So nothing crazy this week, no new records this week, and not a whole lot of money to show forth, but there are still a few things that I did want to point out to you guys that I think I did very well. So on Wednesday, I played YGYI, which was an overextended gap down. My entry on it was 2014, my exit was 227.3 for a negative 12.86% loss on it. So if we take a look here at the daily chart, on the 7th, the day before I played it, it had a very nice run. So it gapped up from about 70 cents to $1, and then it ran all the way up to about 280. And then now you can see it's down off its highs. And if we get into the intraday chart, as you can see, a nice gap up, and basically it just kept running all day long and halting up, up, up. And so I avoid these kind of days, where especially on these first green days that halts every time they open up, just because it's kind of hard to find an edge. My plan for the next day was, if it had gap down below the support here, then I would look into a spike into this resistance and then fade it the rest of the day. As you can see, it was gapping down slightly, not a whole bunch, but it was still opening up kind of weak. So at this point, what I was looking for was any kind of failure that would show me that this run is over and that this was going down. So at the open, we basically had a 5-minute panic from about 225 all the way down to $1.91, $1.90-ish. So basically, at this point, I was thinking, 5 minutes is more than enough time to kind of show me the momentum of the trade and where it's going, and and this technically shouldn't be a fake out. So what I was looking for was just any kind of bounce to get into. So basically, I had borrowed the shares, and I put my market order like I usually do into this bounce. Now, this is where things kind of got bad, because what happened is that I put my order in at like when the stock was at like $2.12, which I was hoping to get, filled, between that and $2.10, which would have been, a decent entry. But because it's a dollar stock, and because I was trying to take a, larger position, or at least maybe just for the liquidity that I had at the moment, I unexpectedly got filled at $2.01, which was basically the bottom. So I entered hoping to get in here, and I got filled all the way at the bottom, and this is what made it very hard to trade, because getting in at the bottom gives you absolutely no edge to short. Only if this had ended up, failing and cracking, then, then I could have made an argument of, that this wasn't a bad entry after all. But because of that, I knew that I wouldn't be able to go in full size, because I still only went in half here, and I was risking this high of day. So the only way that I was able to play it was if it had cracked, this low here, then I could have gone in full size. But unfortunately, this ended up having more room to the upside. Now, even though my entry was at like $2 and I had to cut at $2.25, which was a 12% loss, I couldn't really control where I got in, except if I used a limit order, and in this case I probably should have done, but I was only in half size, so technically the loss is just as much if I had gone in at 210 with full size. But the very good thing that I've been doing this month is being very disciplined and putting in hard stops instead of just kind of mental stops, and trying to stay disciplined when my risk gets hit. And so it automatically stopped me out here at about 227 or so, and I was out. And even though it was a loss, I was still very happy that I've been able to do that, because at least half the time, or more often than not, when high day breaks, it could end up squeezing a lot further. And if we look back here, there was still room all the way up to about $2.74. So, getting at 2 and getting squeezed to $2.70 and having to cut there would have been a major loss, and something that I did not want to do. So just because I got in here on this bounce, I was not able to play it off of the resistance back here. I mean, if I had a huge account and I was able to just basically short into any pop and risking, this ultimate, risk of $2.74, then that would be a different story. But because I don't have a huge account, I'm only able to take sniper trades and get in and get out with, basically one kill. So I had to risk this high of day. Otherwise, I would have been risking a lot more money if this had kept going higher. As you can see, this topped out at $2.40, which, in hindsight is a great entry to short into. And then it ended up fading the rest of the day, with a low of $1.80-ish. So, if you got in here at like, $2.35-ish, and then you got out at $1.85, captured most of the move, that would have been a great win. Obviously, I'm pissed that I got filled so low, which kind of ruined things. But in hindsight, I still would have been out, because my risk was this high of day. So overall, it's not like it broke any rules. It's not like I did anything bad. So I'm okay with this loss, because 1, it's recoverable. 2, I followed my rules. And the trade on Thursday was also a great trade. This was an overextended gap down, and I made $1,168 on it. I got in at $1.36.7, got out at $1.19.2 for a 12% win, and I was in full size with this. Now, if we look here at the daily, this was a very nice runner on the 8th, which I believe was on Wednesday. Basically gapped up from 60 cents all the way to $1.30-ish, ran to $2, or gapped up to $1.65-ish, ran to $2, and closed very weak. And as you can see here, if we look further out on the daily, it's not a stock that is able to hold its run. As you can see here, it ran and then completely just failed the following day. And this is what it looked like intraday. As you can see here, huge gap up, and basically topped out at $2 and kind of faded the rest of the day. And this was crazy, because this is not something I've ever seen before. Pre-market, it had over 20 million shares of volume. That's absolutely insane. I remember when I started out, anything that was 2, 3, 4 million, shares pre-market, that was already crowded. But this had 20 million. This was absolutely insane. This was the day it had, basically didn't really do much except just kind of fade and hold this level here in the $30s. The next day, I was just looking for Basically anything that would tell me that this is going to keep going lower, and just basically short any bounces or pops. And as you can see here, the day that I played it, it just kind of ended up fading from about $1.40 down to $1.30, and I was just patient, just because I just wanted to see if this I was actually going to keep going down, or if this was going to recover and keep going high. It ended up kind of just bouncing, but once this bounce here failed, that's when I knew that I could get in and then risk this bounce high. So I got in full size here, pretty much nailed this bounce. Had maybe like 5% risk, which is kind of my goal, 5% risk or less, and I'm trying to make 10-15%. So 2 or 3 to 1 risk reward in this trade. So this was really great. And basically I just held this covered into this crack here, or into this pull, and then ended up covering my other the other shares that I had into this pull. Pretty much nailed the full move in the morning. I didn't really hold into end of day, because I just felt like I wanted to be out in the morning, and honestly I wanted to take a nap because I was pretty tired. So and I was already up quite a bit. So this was a good win for me. I recovered the losses that I made the previous day, and then some, and so I was able to make almost $500 in the week, considering that this was still a short week. Now for next week, honestly, I don't think I've ever had a watch list this big. This is a huge watch list for next week that I'm watching, as well as the secondary watch list. So this market is crazy. There are so many things running. It's honestly kind of insane. But to be honest, there's a lot of great opportunities, and if you know what you're doing, this is a great time to try to make as much as you possibly can. All right, guys, that's a wrap for this week's recap. We did have a shorter week, plus I only traded for 2 days, so I don't really have a whole lot to show you guys. But thank you guys for sticking with me this far. Again, please like the video if you did like it, and leave a comment or whatever, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.